Hey guys, today I'm going to go over the free exhaust modification on my 981 Porsche Cayman S, or as I like to call it, the poverty sports exhaust. So I already have it installed, but the only tool I needed to use was this wrench here and a 13mm socket. This one has a couple extenders and this rotating gimbal, which is really helpful. If you don't have that, you may need to lower these exhaust tips, and I'll show you how. To lower the tips only, you just have to loosen that and loosen that, and then you can just push these tips downwards, and then that'll let you access the clamp right there. Now that clamp is what the actual modification is. That clamp blocks a gap between these two upper balancing pipes that operate between the mufflers. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm touching it right there. That upper pipe is the balancer pipe between the two mufflers, and you could see, if I zoom in just a little bit, there's a little gap right there, and that's what's letting sound out for this mod. Small little gap. So when you're first doing this mod, this clamp is going to be over to the right a little bit. It'll be covering that gap, and you just expose a little, like 1/8 inch gap to let all that sound out. And again, it is easier if you move these exhaust tips down so you could access this clamp a little better. Thankfully I had the tool, so I didn't need to do that. And yeah, that is the poverty sports exhaust mod. To be honest, I will probably be undoing this and just sliding the clamp back over to the right to cover the gap, because it does add a lot of drone. And I should note that the bolts are pretty rusty, so you may need some lubricant to help them move out, for both these ones and those ones. And by the way, don't think these are 13 mils, I think these are actually larger. But again, thanks to that tool, I did not need to move the tips. Easy 5-minute mod. It's worth trying because the sound is pretty nice when you're actually pushing the car. The crackles and pops are much more noticeable even inside the cabin. We'll start the engine a little bit here. However, the drone is pretty atrocious when you're at highway speeds or just at 2000 RPM. But it's so easy to install and undo. I think it's worth spending 5 minutes before you drive, just sliding the clamp over, opening that gap, letting the sound come out, and then before you have a long highway trip, just move it back. So here's the startup. Give it a rev. The engine's cold, so I don't want to go too hard. Yeah, it's got some kick now. And again, it does sound pretty good. It's just if you're going to be on that longer cruise or if you have a long commute, the drone is pretty atrocious. I'll try to get some footage of me on some back roads and also some footage of the drone to show you guys, but again, really easy mod. It's probably worth your time, and if you end up not liking it, really easy to undo it. If you ask me, I still think retrofitting the actual PSE Porsche Sports Exhaust is worth it, because you have the button, and I believe it does sound better by default rather than just opening up an exhaust leak. But yeah, I think it is worth a try at the very least.